بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى.
أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعاشروهن بالمعروف فإن كرهتموهن فعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا ويجعل الله فيه خيرا كثيرا. وقال الله جل وعلا: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على حبيبك ونبيك سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا محمد وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. جزا الله عنا سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم بما هو أهله. اللهم آته الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته، واجزه عنا ما هو أهله، واجزه أفضل ما جازيت نبيا عن قومه ورسولا عن أمته. وصل على جميع إخوانه من النبيين والصالحين يا أرحم الراحمين. أما بعد. Very dear and respected brothers and sisters, my young brothers, ulama, scholars that are present in the gathering, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to have ikhlas in everything being said and heard, and make us of those who are devoting their times, their abilities in learning and promoting the education of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم. Seeking the knowledge is fard on every Muslim, and especially the knowledge of the topics about which a person is personally involved in. Seeking the knowledge about those things is must and is fard. A person is about to start a store. Having all the information about halal and haram regarding this type of business is must on this person. If this person will do this business without knowing the halal and haram of it, and keeps on getting involved in all the muharramat, in all the things that are haram, and at the end he comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, oh, I didn't know it was haram. And you got involved in this business, in this trade, oh, I didn't know it was haram. You cheated those people, I didn't know it was haram. You lied to those people, I didn't know it was haram. You were selling this merchandise that was haram, I didn't know it was haram. That is not an acceptable excuse by Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you already made that law and order. طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم. Seeking the knowledge was compulsory. When it comes to this topic, that is the topic of our evening today, the marital life, the responsibilities of husband and wife. It is something that we all naturally like to get into it, and many of us that are present over here, we may already be in that time of life where we are married. As a husband now, or as a wife, we have our responsibilities. If a person does not fulfill his or her responsibilities, and at the end presents the excuse of, I didn't know that I have to do this, again, it goes against And this is one of the most important topics that we as Muslims are supposed to learn about. marital life is the foundation of the peace in the world, not just within a family. Marital life is a foundation of the peace in the world. There is no possibility of having a peaceful life in the world if we do not know how to keep the peace of mind in our homes. If we do not have peaceful homes, the homes where we can find love, where we can go and have rest, where we can have peace of mind, where we can find a place where we look forward to go to after being tired, exhausted, attacked from every corner. You know, I can go home and relax and be at peace. If we don't have those type of homes, then you will not find peace of mind anywhere else in the world. It will be just a chaos in the world. And this is generally what you see around us everywhere, where people, they do not find peace of mind in the homes, and therefore everything else in the life is disturbed. Everything else gets disturbed in the life. It was during the time of, I think, Ma'mun al-Rashid. He had the habit of taking rounds at night time. One day, as he's taking rounds, and he passes by one of the masajid where Salat al-Fajr was going on. And he had his guards and everything with him, they kept on moving. The others didn't pay attention to what he noticed. Later on in the day, he sent someone to go and call the Imam. When the Imam came, he gave him some big gift. He said, "This is something for you." Then he said to him, "Tell me, what problem do you have? You are going through some difficult time in your life." He said, "Yes, my wife is pregnant and she is in her labor. I don't have anyone to help, and I could not afford anyone to come and support her in that type of situation. And we are going through some difficult financial situation in our home." So he explained his financial difficulty and the difficulty that he was having at home. Ma'mun al-Rashid said, "This is why I chose to give you this gift. And the reason I found that out, today in Salat al-Fajr you were making mistakes. And normally when I pass by your masjid, I know that you're a good hafiz. You don't make these mistakes." His salah was disturbed because of the difficulty he's having it. And we know that when we have that type of situation, you are in ruku', but you're thinking about that situation. It's sujood, and you can't even concentrate on what you're doing. You're standing before Allah, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, but you don't know what you're talking about. So, that is very important. And learning about this topic is extremely important. We all get into that type of situation. A person gets married, doesn't know a single ayah of Qur'an about marital life. A person is married, you ask this person, is there anything in Qur'an about the husband and wife, and about the rule of a husband and the rule of a wife, about parenting, about how to be good parents? Doesn't know. Goes blank. Doesn't know. As if there is nothing about it in our deen. Subhanallah. And you are in this type of life for last 10 years, 15 years. You are a husband, you are a wife, and you don't know a single ayah or a single hadith. How are you treating your partner according to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do you know that you are treating him or her fairly? How do you know that you are fulfilling your responsibility? How do I know I'm not making mistakes? I'm not hurting the other person? What are the teachings of our deen about this? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduced a family life, He started with Adam and Hawa alayhi wassalatu wassalam. And subhanallah, when we look at the beginning of the creation, Allah subhanahu subhanahu wa ta'ala did not create Adam and Hawa and then give them children just from having Adam and Hawa. Rather, first thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salatu wassalam, and allowed Adam to live for some time. And then he created Hawa alayhi salam. Now, Adam and Hawa alayhi salam are the first people that are into the existence, first human beings. That tells us the first relation that was established between human beings in this world was the relation of a husband and wife. Is not the relation of parents and children. The first relation was husband and wife. The first relation is Adam and Hawa. That tells us the importance of having that life where a man needs a woman in his life, and a woman needs a husband in her life. This is Adam and Hawa. From there, they started having children. Children are the result of that first relation. Remember, we start with that relation. Our true life of responsibilities start from the time a person gets married. He gets serious about his responsibilities now. I have to earn. I have to work. I have to get on my feet. I have to find a solid job. I have to find a home. And before that, parents have been telling him that, you live with us. Make sure you take part in the running of the house and cleaning at least. If you don't pitch in financially, at least do something in supporting this house. Doesn't want to take no responsibilities. Want to run around with friends, wasting time here and there, partying out, doesn't have no time to do anything at the house. As soon as he gets married, now he says, I need my own home. But you never even clean your room here. Go and check your room right now. Your clothes are all over the room. There are wrappers everywhere in the room. Room is dirty. You don't take your garbage out. Your mother has to clean it. Now you want the whole house by yourself. You say, yeah, I can do it. This is when the person starts taking on responsibilities. And when we look at the reality of our life, we will realize, just as our life starts as a husband and wife, as a family life, true strong life, as a husband and wife, when we take family very seriously, at the end, our relation, that is the strongest relation, is also the relation of husband and wife. Because you see those now who are in their 60s and 70s. In their 20s or 30s, they got married, it was just the husband and wife. They got children grown up, now they got their educations, they got married, they're all moved out. Who's left in the house now? The husband and the wife. This is where you started from, this is where you are at the end. And now, all the children are on their own. Difficult for children to stay with parents now. We can't handle it no more. We want to move out. Let husband and wife, let father and mother deal with themselves, with each other. But I can't be in this house. So at the end, again, we are just a husband and wife. Tells us this strong bond that we have over here. This is a very strong connection of a husband and wife. And in between that period, for those people who haven't learned the importance of this bond, the importance of this relation, they keep on fighting because of children, and they always threaten to break away because of children. This is because of lack of education and understanding. Otherwise, these children, after 10, 15 years, are going to move out. At the end, both of you will be seeing this house. You are not to fight because of those things. You are to strengthen your bond and strengthen your connection on how to take care of these situations, how to raise children together with a good and mutual understanding rather than fighting about it, because this fighting, if it will cause you a situation where you break or apart from each other, at the end, when children are gone away, now you just sit and wonder, why did I do all of that for? Because no one, even my daughter that I took divorce because of her, she doesn't want to stay with me. My son, because of whom I left my wife, doesn't want to stay with me. If there is a person that will stay with you, it's that bond that Allah has created as a husband and wife. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces this relation in Qur'an, the relation of husband and wife, what does he say? وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. It is of the signs of Allah, subhanallah, when He is mentioning the major signs of the existence and the greatness of Allah. One of those great signs of Allah in this universe is وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, out of His great signs that He is specifically mentioning in His book, in His Qur'an, when He's counting the major signs. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, creation of the heaven and the earth. He's talking about those big signs. He says one of those signs, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, one of His signs is أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, that He created your spouses from within yourselves. Human beings do not marry jinns. Human beings do not marry shayateen. خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. He created your spouses from within yourselves. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. He created love and mercy between the two of you. He created what? لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. Why did He create your spouse for you? لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, so that you have sukoon, you have peace of mind with each other. Subhanallah. Look at the introduction of a family life in Islam. That family life is supposed to be a type of relation where you find sukoon there. Do you understand sukoon? You know, when you study the vowels of Arabic language, there is fatha, there is kasra, there is dhamma, and there is sukoon. What is sukoon? Is the absence of fatha, kasra, and dhamma. When there is no fatha, no kasra, and no dhamma. What do we call fatha, kasra, and dhamma? We call haraka. The opposite of haraka is sukoon. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces a beautiful family to us, saying that a beautiful family is when there is no haraka, which means there is no fight, no argument, there is always peace of mind, there is sukoon there. It's not about fatha, kasra, and dhamma, ups and downs. Fatha and dhamma are up, kasra is down. You don't go up and down, let's keep it sukoon. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. You know, once a brother told me, he said, you know, in our culture back home, people are not too civilized. See how civilized people are over here. You get stuck in the traffic. You don't see people going from the sidewalk or driving on the sidewalk or driving on the shoulder or even honking the horns of the car. They just sit, relax, you know, they wait until the car ahead of them moves, and then in our countries, as soon as there is some traffic, little traffic, people will start honking the horns, move, move, move. I said, see how civilized they are. I said, no, there is another difference also. Maybe what you're saying is true, but I see that there is another difference also. In our culture, our homes are sukoon, walhamdulillah. So the person, when he's on the road, there is harakah. He is not at peace. He wants to go at the place of sukoon. But in this culture, you are on the road, you have sukoon. As you go home, there is harakah there. There is fatha kasra and dhamma out there. So you say, you know, better stay in the sukoon. You tell the car ahead of you, please don't move. I'm going to call my wife and tell her that the traffic is, well, I was stuck in the traffic. And the traffic is not moving. And I hope it doesn't move. This is the difference. When there is sukoon in the house, a person looks forward to go back there. When there is no sukoon in the house, the person looks for ways to stay away from the house. A lot of times there is a complaint that he or she does not like to stay home. Make it a place of sukoon, and he and she will love to stay home. But when there is no sukoon over there, a person will find sukoon with friends, with co-workers, but doesn't find it at home. Of course he's going to try to find a way to stay. It's not to use it as an excuse, but I'm saying this is something where we need to consider our situation in our homes, how to make it a place of peace of mind. This is what Allah is saying in the Qur'an, that your homes should be the place where you get the peace of mind. A woman went to a sheikh saying that, you know, I have a major problem in my life. I got so many people involved and so much counseling, nothing helped. What's the problem? He says, every time husband comes home, within no time we start to a big fight and he beats me up. He gets physical also. Tell me something I can do. Sheikh, so give me something to read. So he said, yeah, I have a very, very strong dua for this. Inshallah, your husband will never touch you again. I have a strong dua for this. So he has water and he recites something. He blows it onto the water. He says, now, what I have blown into the water is very powerful dua. After this amal you perform, your husband will never touch you. Now, the method of using this water is, you take it home, make sure you don't swallow it, because what I have recited is very powerful. So every time, the time when your husband comes, you see the door is opening, your husband coming in, take a sip of the water. And keep it in your mouth for 5 minutes. Don't swallow it. After 1 week, she comes back home. She says, MashaAllah, Shaykh, the dua you recited was very powerful. That dua was really powerful dua. I have done so many counseling, so much treatment and all of that before. Nothing worked. But this dua really worked. What did you recite? It was just to keep you from speaking, from talking when he comes home. Then let him say whatever he wants. So now the husband comes home and she has the water in her mouth. And he says, yeah, you are same way again. You didn't do this, you didn't do this. The water is in the mouth. She's not supposed to swallow the water. It's going to harm her. She has to keep it 5 minutes. Now he's wondering, what happened? She's not talking back. How come you don't speak? And of course, when she doesn't speak back, he doesn't hit her. Doesn't get worse. Now, by the time she spits the water out, he has cooled down. And now they sit and talk. This is exactly what that sukoon is. That many times we don't understand each other. We don't understand each other. The husband doesn't realize that she has been waiting for me for 8 hours. And when I go home, she's expecting something from me. We don't realize that she was staying home, she was preparing the food, she was cleaning the house, and we go over there, we don't commend her for anything good she has done. We look for the faults and we pick up on those things. Look, see, there is some dirt over there, and that thing is not that clean, and the food is not, it doesn't have enough spices in it, or it's not cooked properly. After 8 hours and me putting all of her time in waiting for you, preparing these things for you, is this what she was waiting to hear from you? And she doesn't realize that he was working hard 8 hours, not for himself, to take care of the family. This was so that he can take care of all of our needs. He can fulfill his responsibilities towards us. And maybe he's going through so many difficulties at work, and sometimes the boss says something to him, and sometimes the co-workers are giving him a look, or someone comes and speaks back to him, or work is very tiring, and they're demanding more and more from him, and he comes home and he's exhausted and tired, and he wants, as soon as he comes, did you bring this, did you bring this, did you bring this? And he's not ready to hear none of that anymore after those 8 hours, hearing it from all the other people. We need to understand. I'm not saying these are excuses, but we need to understand each other's situations. That's the bottom line. We need to understand what the other person is going through. Don't look at what you have done. Look at what the other person have done and what they are going through. Try to understand each other. If this will work from both sides, you have a peace of mind. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, from the time he built his masjid in Medina Munawwara, we know he never missed the i'tikaf. He never missed the i'tikaf in his masjid. Every year he would do the i'tikaf of the last 10 days of Ramadan. One of the years he did, the first year he did the i'tikaf of all 30 days. After that, every year he would do i'tikaf of the last 10 days of Ramadan. One of the years, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam missed the i'tikaf. It was only 1 year. And in reality, he didn't miss it. He started the i'tikaf, then he broke his i'tikaf and came out. What was the reason? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, first thing, so we can understand and picture what we are talking about. If you remember the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he's standing in the mihrab there. On his left hand side is the house of Aisha radiallahu anha, where his rawdah is right now. On the left hand side is the house of Aisha radiallahu anha. The door of Aisha radiallahu anha's house opens into the masjid. So when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was standing the i'tikaf, Aisha radiallahu anha said, Ya Rasulullah, how if I have i'tikaf also with you, and I'm going to just put a curtain around my door over there, so I'll just stay in that corner of the house, of the masjid. So I will be just at the doorstep of my house. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, fine, you can do that. Salama radiallahu anha finds out that Aisha radiallahu anha gets a permission to do the i'tikaf. Then Zainab radiallahu anha finds out that, okay, Salama and Aisha radiallahu anha are doing i'tikaf. By the morning, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam comes out of his mu'takaf place of i'tikaf, his small tent that was in the corner, in the front corner of the masjid, he comes out and says, a line of tents over there. He says, whose tents are these? He said, Azwajuka ya Rasulullah. These are your wives, ya Rasulullah. I said, what? Only Aisha has permission. Where do the rest of them come from? Now, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, just think about it. What choices does he have? And put yourself into that situation. Very upset and angry. Go to one of them. Who told you to come? You never asked me for permission. Yes, she asked for permission, but you never asked for permission. You should talk to me first. That could be one reaction. The other reaction is, Aisha, you need to go too. And everyone else has to go. What will be the feeling of Aisha radiallahu anha that because of these, I had to leave? What did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam do? He said, take out my tent. He doesn't go to any of them, doesn't talk to none of them. He says, take my tent out, I'm not doing i'tikaf, I'm going home. He picked up his tent and he went home. Aisha radiallahu anha finds out, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is in the house. Why I'm doing this i'tikaf for is my husband in the house. If he's in the house, I have no reason of staying in the masjid. She picks up her tent and she went to the house. All the other wives go. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and Aisha both left. Their tents are gone. They all pick up their tents and they left. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't tell them you leave. He just left himself. And they all left behind him. Next year, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he learned his lesson from that first year. He said, From now on, any woman who wants to do i'tikaf, do it at your home. But in this way, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, see how he took care of the feelings of all of those of his wives. That he didn't say to the other ones, you can't do the i'tikaf, I give permission only to Aisha, they will feel bad. He didn't say to Aisha radiallahu anha that you can do it because now they want to do it also, so I'm taking away the permission that I took that I gave you, and you have to leave. She would feel bad about these ones, and she will have bad feeling for them. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam thought it will be best that I leave my i'tikaf. And this way, they all left. And now next year, I'm not going to give a permission to any of them. Beautiful way of taking care of these situations where the point is you take care of others' feelings. This is where we need to realize and understand. Where you take care of other people's feelings. You understand their feelings. You stand for them. You care for their feelings. It's not about, I don't care what you have to go through. I don't care what you're going through. You have to look at my situation. No one had a harder life in this world more than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the difficulties he was going through every day. Every day. Sometimes after immigration, Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in tell us, till the eighth year of the Hijrah, which means only 2 years before he passed away, we used to sleep while our weapons are in our hands. We used to sleep with our weapons in our hands, that we could be attacked by our enemies at any time. Until Fath Makkah, until that time, we couldn't sleep with peace of mind. And the main attack was on who? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even in that type of situation. And sometime now, so the attack is from outside. And every sometime we hear the news that Ghassan is preparing an army. Romans are preparing the army. Persians have sent a delegation. These are the superpowers of the time. The Persian Empire have sent a delegation to Medina saying that we are sent to take you to our king. He said, if you don't come, he's going to send an army by which he will destroy each and every brick of this town. And each and every living being that lives in this town will be taken as a slave. So you better come with us to our king. Imagine with that type of situation. Under what stress Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was living. Then you have munafiqeen around you over there. You have different tribes of Jewish tribes around you over there. I mean, you are going through situations day and night, and any dispute, any differences between any two people, any two communities, they all come with their complaints and with their problems to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Has to deal with all of that in addition to try to educate people about the deen that he was sent with, and trying to educate the Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim about their ibadat, about their deen, and about the Qur'an, and about all the details of what they are supposed to be doing and not doing. Mention the stress that he's living in. And yet, when he goes home, he puts all of that aside. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we don't find a single situation when he went home and he started yelling at his wife and saying, using this as a reason and excuse, that you don't know what I'm going through outside there. And this, you don't talk to me. Let me just have my own life. Never. Not a single instant in his life. In fact, Ummahatul Mu'mineen tell us, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he used to come home, we didn't find anyone more cherishing and smiling than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There are Sahaba who tell us, we haven't seen anyone more smiling than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every time I saw him, he smiled to me. He didn't say, no, today I'm going through a lot of stress. Just leave me alone. No. That smile, he gave a smile. Because it's not you that gave him that stress. Why should I take it out on you? If I can't handle it with those that are giving me that stress, then let's not bring that stress to other people that are kind to me, that are nice to me, and that are trying to help me. Our problem is, we take all the world's problem into our home. And this is where you offload it. on your wife, on your children. And many times our children are the main target. You just sit down, you don't talk, you do this, you do this. Why? Nothing wrong that the child has done, but it's all the stress that we took with us from outside of the house. And we couldn't take it out there, now we're taking it out there. And we are the people that know the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ وَأَنَا خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. The best out of you are those who are the best to their families. Subhanallah, Abu Bakr is sitting there, Umar is sitting there, Uthman is sitting there, Ali is there, all the Sahaba are there. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is telling them, do you know who is the best out of you? Do you know who is the best out of you? Subhanallah, when you're sitting with that caliber of people like Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, and you want to tell them who is the best out of you, I would think he would say the one who spends the whole night in Qiyam al-Layl, or the person who finishes one Qur'an every night, or the person who fasts every day, or who gives all of his wealth in sadaqah. They have people of those caliber over there. But he says, no. خَيْرُكُمْ, the best out of you are خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ, are those who are the best to their families. And it doesn't stop there. It does not end there. The next part of the hadith is even more powerful than this part. What is that? وَأَنَا خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. He presents a challenge now to them. I'm the best out of all of you to my family. Which means he's telling them, he's challenging them, find me one person out of all of you here who treats his wife better than I treat my wife. Find me one person, and not a single person. وَأَنَا خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِي. Can any of us really today stand up and say, وَأَنَا خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِي? And our wife will support that claim while she's hearing, not while she's not hearing. And our wife can support that claim that really, mashallah. Of course, with this we need to understand this. Differences between husband and wife. They are part of the life. Sometimes we live in a dream world. And especially in today's time. Remember, there wasn't any time in the history when people were living in a dream world more than it is in our time. In today's time, majority of the people are living in a dream world. You know why? Because we got used to watching movies and seeing all the advertisements out there, the way it's being presented, that this couple, they are now at that they are in that country, now they're in Switzerland, then they're in Italy, they are on the mountains, they are on the hills, now they are in the oceans, now they are in the falls, now they're in the boat, and they're enjoying themselves. Show me one couple that is really living that way. It's just a dream world. Through that, they make us feel, when I get married, I'm going to get a wife, and this is what we will do. And then, after a month or two, you go home, and she says, you know what? Today you woke up late, and you didn't do this. What? I thought I'd come home, and then we are going to just have a nice dining table set up for me, and you will come, you'll take, you will allow me to take full of my own shoes off, you will come and take my shoes off, and we will sit together, and there will be candles. SubhanAllah. In all these, they used to have candles, then we just started having lights, and now we still like to have candles, and we have that nice environment where we enjoy our dinner. But what I'm seeing here is totally different world. See, reality is that's only a dream world. No one has that world. Inshallah in Jannah. Better than that. ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر. We as men, we have to understand one thing. And a lot of times people really don't understand it. Why Allah talks about hur in Qur'an. And with so much description of the hur, it surprises people sometimes. Oh, why there is so much description of hur in Jannah? It's to tell you that don't dream that over here. One day you will get it over there. Don't lose it. Don't lose all of that because of the haram in this world. You are having it. But in this world, you have to live with the realities of this dunya. You have to live with the realities of this dunya. Allah pointed out this reality in Qur'an when He said, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Pay attention now to the two words that Allah used. And He created love and rahmah, mercy between the two of you. Love and kindness, mercy between the two of you. In the initial days of marriage, there is love. In the dream world, you want to live with that love for the rest of your life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, remember, it's not just love. There is another part to it also. There has to be the part of rahmah, mercy. As we get older, a time comes when that love is out. You don't want that type of life anymore, loving words and loving environment, and I'm too old for that now. And I'm too busy for that now. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if that love is not there anymore, don't forget the rahmah between the two. Don't forget the kindness. What normally happens with us is that when we lose the love, and it's natural, after some time, that's going to go down. You see, you have the temperature in the room, and the thermostat will show you the temperature. It goes up and it goes down. Same thing, this temperature is going to go up and down. It's not going to just stick there to one level. It will keep on changing. But when that temperature of the love moves up and down, and at the time when you see that don't have that feeling, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, make sure that rahmah is there, that you have mercy on each other, that this your partner of your life, they help you, she helped you, he helped you for the longest time of your life. She helped you in the difficulties. When everyone else closed their doors on you, she opened the door for you. She stood with you. She smiled to you. She fed you. She helped you. Now don't forget to have rahmah on her when she is in the situation of needing the rahmah. Have rahmah and mercy. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in a hadith which is in the Sahih, mentioned about a person who fed a thirsty dog. In one hadith he talked about a man, in another hadith he talked about a woman who fed a thirsty dog. And when he talked about the woman, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that this woman was a very bad woman. When she fed the thirsty dog, فَشَكَرَ اللَّهُ لَهَا فَغَفَرَ لَهَا. Allah appreciated. And look, if you remember the hadith, what does the hadith say? That when she saw that thirsty dog, she took her scarf off and she took her shoe off. She used the scarf as a rope for the shoe, and she tied the shoe with the scarf, and she puts it down in the well, filled the shoe with the water, and she gives that shoe to the dog so he can drink water from her shoe. When she offered that water to the dog, in what? In her shoe. فَشَكَرَ اللَّهُ لَهَا. Pay attention to the wordings of the hadith. Allah appreciated what she did for the dog. فَغَفَرَ لَهَا. And therefore, she was forgiven for all of her past, and she was guaranteed the Jannah. Subhanallah. For giving water to a thirsty dog in her shoe. How many times our wives have given us water in a clean glass? Not in her shoes. Gave you a good smile at a time when you were tired. When you were at a situation where you were down, you could not feel that you would do anything with your life. And that's the time when she supported you, she stood for you. Same thing from the other side. Just appreciating that one situation will stop you from saying anything bad to her and to them. This is appreciation that our deen is teaching us. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. He created love and mercy between the two of you. Deal each other with each other with love. And when you don't have that feeling of love, don't forget the rahmah. Especially in the old age. In the old age, they both are in need of rahmah from each other. He needs someone to support him to get up. She needs someone to support him to stand up. They both need rahmah. They both need mercy. And this is who they will be getting that rahmah from each other. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. This is how we are supposed to be dealing with each other. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this bond that we have, the bond of the husband and wife, made it the pillar of the structure of this world. This is the main pillar of the structure of the world. This is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam discouraged us from having any type of arguments in our homes. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in a hadith, every day, Shaitan places his throne, his arsh on the water, and he invites all the shayateen, come and give me the report of your achievement of the day. They all go there. They all go to this Iblis, their leader, and start giving their reports. Okay, line up. The whole line is there. Iblis is sitting on his arsh, on the water, and they keep on giving, I made a person miss a salah. Good, okay, go. I made a person eat haram. Okay, good. I made a person do this, do this, do this, do this. They come with all kinds of sins, minor and major sins. And then there is a person, one of these shayateen in the line, that is standing in the line. He comes and he says, I made husband and wife argue and fight. Iblis gets up and he hugs him. He says, Anta, you are the right person. You are, what would you say? You are the true shaitan. You are the true shaitan that you made the husband and wife fight. He gets the certificate of being a good shaitan. And you know what? Have you seen that good shaitan in your life? There are so many around today. In today's day and age, there are so many of those shaitan, even in the form of a human being. As soon as they find out that there is some dispute going on in a family, husband and wife, right away they will come. We are here to support you. I heard that your husband is not treating you well. I heard he's did it. You better make a report of it. Call the police, at least make a report. At least get a lawyer and get his opinion about what you should do. These are the shayateen that if they will stand in their line, shaitan will stand up, and Iblis will stand up and hug them. Rather than saying, ittaqillah, as Allah says, this is the Qur'an. When Zayd radiallahu anhu said, Ya Rasulullah, me and my wife, Zainab, are not getting along. Allah Rasulullah says to him, Amsik alayka zawjaka wattaqillah. Hold on to your wife and fear Allah. Although he was informed through the wahi that they will not live together for long. He will divorce her. He will divorce her. And yet, Amsik alayka zawjaka wattaqillah. That's the part of the counseling. That's the part of helping. No. Hold your wife, hold on to your wife and fear Allah. And today's shayateen, even if the person is not even thinking about that direction, no, at least you should at least have it documented. At least write everything. Save this information. You will need it in future. Teaching people how to fight. Teaching people how to break apart. Teaching people how to get a divorce. And after this man or this wife will get a divorce, all of those shayateen will disappear and will come. Now you deal with it your own. In fact, they will go back in many situations. In counseling, I have seen myself. After some time, they go out and start talking. Oh yeah, there was no need for her to take a divorce, and she still decided to get divorced. What type of woman she was? Subhanallah, you were the one who put her in that situation. Now you are not willing to stand for her, and after maybe sometime she will come back to you and she says, your husband is doing the same thing to you. Why don't you divorce? No. Because of my children, I can't. Didn't you care about her children? These are shayateen. These are the shayateen of the ends. I would say, for instance, in a family, is something that is bound to happen. When there are two people living in a house, they will have their own temper. They will have their own feelings. Each person is going to convey his feelings, his temper, his method of understanding, his opinion in different ways, in different methods. Sometimes you're upset, sometimes she's upset. We have to understand that this is part of the life. As I said, it's not a dream world where there is no time that any person is upset.
and you always just hearing beautiful words, and every time you enter home, there are flowers showering on you, and then you smell so much fragrance. It's not going to happen. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says to Aisha radiallahu anha, Aisha, I know when you are upset with me. Can you imagine? Aisha, I know when you are upset with me. In fact, this reminds me of another beautiful hadith. Aisha radiallahu anha had some difference with some back and forth with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, okay Aisha, you know what? I don't think we can solve it between the two of us. How about I call Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah to make a decision? He says, no, he's your sahabi, he's not my sahabi. He's going to favor you. Okay. How about I call Umar? You know, he's strong in the haqq. No, I'm scared of Umar. I don't want Umar. So who do you want? Aisha. And she's quiet. So Prophet ﷺ understood who she wanted. Aisha, how about then Abu Bakr? Who's Abu Bakr? Her father. She said, okay, I'm ready. And Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu comes. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu comes, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells him that, you know, this is what was going on between the two of us. And I said Abu Ubaidah and Umar, and finally she agreed that if whatever decision you make. So I agreed with her also. Okay, Abu Bakr, you make the decision. And Abu Bakr's eyes are turning red. His face is red. Why? Is he favoring his daughter? No. He's saying, how dare you argue with the Prophet ﷺ and you don't listen to him? And he is about to go and get her. And Rasulullah ﷺ came in between and said, no, Abu Bakr, this is not counseling. This is not the way of counseling. Okay, Abu Bakr, that's okay. We don't need anyone between us. I'm going to solve it with her, Abu Bakr. Don't worry, you can go. And then Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu left. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says to Aisha radiallahu anha, see how I saved you? And now the back are together. So imagine how he's treating his wife. So in this situation, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Aisha, I can tell when you are upset with me. Now imagine a person like us. You know, I'm the Shaykh and everyone respects me, and you are the only one who doesn't respect me. And you are upset with me, that will be a big sin on you. Prophet ﷺ is not like no fatwas on her, that you're upset with the Prophet of Allah, and you lose all the blessings and all the rewards and all the rahmah. Allah is not going to have mercy on you, and the door of Jannah will be closed. No. Aisha, I can figure out when you're upset with me. And he's smiling. She said, okay, Ya Rasulullah, tell me, how do you figure it out? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you are happy with me and we are talking and having good conversation, you say, La wa Rabbi Muhammad. You take oath, I swear by the Lord of Muhammad. And when you are upset, you say, La wa Rabbi Ibrahim. I swear by the Lord of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Aisha radiallahu anha said, Ya Rasulullah, I can tell you now one thing, one secret of my life, something that I have in my heart. I know I do intentionally. Wallahi ad'u illa ismak. I swear, I just changed the name. I just don't pronounce your name at that time. Otherwise, your love is always in my heart, even at that time. Look at the beautiful conversation going on, dialogue that is going on in this family. This is how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Well-known hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he came out of his home, and it is the afternoon time in Medina Munawwara. It's a hot day. No one is out during that time. What brings Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam out? He's standing out. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu comes there. He says, Abu Bakr, why did you come out at this time of the day? It's too hot. I need to be at home. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I was very hungry. Didn't have anything to eat for days. So I said, I couldn't even rest. I said, let me go and see if I can find something to eat. But what brings you out, Ya Rasulullah? He said, the same thing that brought you out, brought me out too. I was also hungry. Didn't have anything to eat. And while standing there, Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu arrives. I'm sure we heard this portion of the hadith. Umar radiallahu anhu arrives. What brings you, Umar? I was hungry, had nothing to eat for some days. And what about you and Abu Bakr? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the same thing brought us also out. Let's go to a Sahabi whose name was Abu Haytham ibn Tayhan radiyallahu anhu. Normally when we talk about this hadith, we stop at this portion. And we say three greatest people in the world at that time are standing in the heat of Medina Munawwara hungry. Continue the hadith. See what the remaining of the hadith say. Where did they go? They went to the Sahabi's house, Abu Haytham ibn Tayhan. When they went and knocked at his door, his wife answered the door. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked where the husband was. She said, خَرَجَ يَسْتَعْذِبُ لَنَا الْمَاءِ. He went to get some sweet water for us. There was a well of water away from their home. He went to get the sweet water from the well. When he came back, he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Abu Bakr and Umar in the house. MashaAllah. He's so happy. The luckiest day of my life. Ya Rasulullah, you are so welcome. What brings you? And he told them the whole situation. He said, okay, sit down, Ya Rasulullah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam knows that he's so happy, he's going to go and start slaughtering all of his goats or something. He said, make sure that you don't slaughter any big goat, just a small one. And just bring some dates. He went and brought some dates, and then he prepared the meal for them and came and presented to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, at this time in the afternoon, you went to get the water yourself. You don't have anyone helping you with this? You have such a big farm over here that you work in, and then you have to go and do all of this housework also. You don't have someone to help you with it? He said, no, Ya Rasulullah, I don't have anyone. He said, okay, sometime we get some of those slaves that we can have them, we distribute them to the different homes in Medina Munawwara. So if you hear me having one of those, come and talk to me, so I'll give you one of those. And this is another topic. I don't want to change the topic and get into that topic of the word slave in Islam, which has a totally different concept than the concept that generally people will use the word for. In fact, I would suggest at least our time won't allow us to go away and deviate from this topic that we are talking about. Let us study this topic in the light of in the light of the Quran and the Sunnah, and you will see that even in today's time, if people will understand the concept of slavery that we use the word slavery, I think it will be a wrong word based on how it is being used in today's time. But if that is the right word for it, people will say that is the best way. That will be the best way of treating the captives of war in the world, even in today's time. The world, until this day, is not able to present any solution for the prisoners of war better than the solution that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has presented. And that is the word, what we call it, slave in Islam. As I said, because of the common word that is being used between what Islam is used as the word for and between what this culture and the world has seen that world is being used for. This is why when you have people start having a lot of objections about it. Anyway, so when you hear me having one of those, come and talk to me. I will assign a person to you. After some time, Abu Haytham hears that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has some of those people there. So he went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, you told me when you came home to come and talk to you when you have one of those. So now you have one of those slaves. If you want to assign one of them to me to do my work. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, okay, we have 3 over here. Take whoever you like. He said, Ya Rasulullah, you choose the right person for me. He pointed towards one of them and he said, take this person because he's a good man. I saw him doing salah. I saw him doing the salah. He was doing the salah very nicely. So he's a good man. Make sure you take good care of him. Here, take this pair of ala ismillah, on the name of Allah. Abu Haytham radiyallahu anhu takes this person with him. He takes him home and very, very happily goes to his wife. He says, listen, we have this man with us who will be like our family member from now on, and he's going to help us with this type of work. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told me just one advice, that be kind to him. Be kind to him. So therefore, just make sure you be kind to him. She stayed quiet. Then she takes her husband on the side. She said, I want to talk to you for a minute. Okay, what do you want to talk about? You told me that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said he's a good man, and he advised us that we need to be kind to him. We are human beings after all. I don't think we can really fulfill that order of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sometimes we are upset. Sometimes we're in different mood. Sometimes we are not too happy. Sometimes he may make a mistake. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us to be kind to him. We may not be able to fulfill that order of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, my suggestion is that you set him free. Let him go. It makes sense. And I don't want to make that mistake either, where we would be opposing the order of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he goes to this man and says, you know, you are freely wajhillah, go and do whatever you want. Let me take you back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and let him know that witness that you are free. He goes there, he tells Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I said, what happened? You needed someone to help you. He said, yeah, Rasulullah, yes. But when I told my wife, this is what you said, this was her advice. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam at that point said, what a beautiful gift from Allah it is for a pious man to have a pious wife. That she helps him whenever he needs a help, and she pleases him whenever he looks at her. And when he's absent, she takes care of all of his belongings. Subhanallah. This is a woman who advised her wife. He accepted that advice from his wife. In today's time, many of us, we just remember our hadiths. Those who remember any hadith, when it comes to marital life, they say, خُلِقَتْ مِنْ ضِلْعٍ عَوَجٍ نَاقِصَةُ عَقْلٍ وَدِينٍ. Those are the only hadiths that we remember. And unfortunately, I have to advise myself and everyone here that we use this hadith at a time when one of the two is upset. It's really totally unjust for us to use it in that type of situation. In fact, very dangerous. Because especially if your wife is upset and you use something like this, he would say something against those words. He's saying a word against the hadith of Rasulullah. You made her do that. Don't use these type of things as an excuse of hurting their feelings. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he used these words, he used them really to, if you look at the background of the hadith, and of course I don't want to go into that topic either right now, rights of women in Islam, we are just talking about the mutual understanding right now, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he used these words, he used it so that we take care of them, is not to look down at them. When he said that a woman is created from a twisted root, what did he say? He said, don't try to straighten it all the time because you're going to break it. Which means, when you see faults in your wife, don't try to. Don't just keep on picking on her all the time. Oh, you did this wrong, did this wrong, this is wrong. Don't pick on those things. Let it be the way it is. And this is how you have to learn how to live with it. He's teaching us how to live with it. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Qur'an, وَعَاشِرُوهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Subhanallah. An amazing ayah of Qur'an that talks about the relation of husband and wife. وَعَاشِرُوهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Live with them in a very well-recognized, beautiful manner. Ma'roof. What is ma'roof? Kullu ma'roofin sadaqa. Ma'roof, so you do something good in your life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, live with your life in a very recognized and a good manner. Who's advising us? Who's ordering us to live that way? Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the question may come in many people's mind. How about if I don't like her? How about if she's doing so many wrong things? And I don't like those things. You know, we were in Hajj. And I'm telling you something that I personally went through. We came back from Muzdalifah. Those of you who have performed Hajj, you may remember, you know, when you go to Mina first, you rest. 5 prayers in Mina, and then comes the real time of the Hajj, when you really get exhausted, tired, and that's the period when you see people fight and argue anyway. So you go to Arafah. That's now in the afternoon from Zuhr till Maghrib, you have to be standing making dua, or even if you sit and lay down, at least that's the time of ibadah. Then from there, without even resting, you go to Muzdalifah, you spend the night over there. Next day you come, you have to do the Rami, then you come to your tent. So by the time you come to the tent, you are just ready to fall on your bed and have some rest. You are exhausted, tired. You are not in the mood of getting into any type of conversation or anything else. We came back from Muzdalifah. And after morning, we are in our tent. I went and I laid down, and I knew that if there is anything here, the people will have questions, because now everyone is looking, where is the Shaykh? I did this wrong, and I want to just pretend I'm sleeping. So I take my sheet on my head, and my eyes are closed, and I hear a big noise on the side of the tent. I said, now there is something is going on. And I just looked around, okay, there are a few people standing there and having some argument. I'm hearing the argument, but pretending I'm sleeping. The person who was really on one side, and there was a group of people on the other side. Now, this person says, here, let me go and talk to the Shaykh and see what he says about it. I said, I'm done. I really don't want to get involved in this type of situation. I need to stay out of it. And I'm not even moving. And he comes and he pulls my sheet. He says, Shaykh, we have an important question. Get up. I said, okay, what happened? And I heard everything that was happening. You know what was happening? This man is about 75 years old. From New York City. I'm even telling you, but you don't know the person, so I'm just telling you. MashaAllah, good businessman. Well-to-do person. This is a person who comes back home, and he is coming back. On the way, when they came off the bus and they're walking to the tent, they got into this discussion that, you go to Jannah, and mashallah, So one of the brothers is giving them a good advice. You go to Jannah, and inshallah, for all the hard work that we did today, you get this, and you get your hur, and mashallah, your wife will be one of your hurs. And this old man, he's out of his mind. He says, don't tell me that. And this is where the argument is, no, she's not coming in my part of the Jannah. Believe me, as I said, I'm laying down and I was overhearing all of that. And he says, no way, I'm not letting her in my part of the Jannah. You're telling me what? And the argument is going on. So he comes and he pulls me out. He says, these people are saying that, the wife that we have in this dunya, they will be with us in Jannah. You want to tell him, I have to tell him the truth. So I said, yes. But remember, it won't be with this type of behavior that we have in this world. And I'm trying to give him the explanation and all of that. And he's the old man, 75 years old. He's not in the mood of hearing it. He says, do you think I did all of this just to get her back? But the point is, these type of differences, living with the differences is something that we need to learn. وَعَاشِرُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ Allah says, treat them in fair manner, in a good manner. بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Subhanallah, look at the next part of you. Because this is what I was saying. The question will come to our mind, what if I don't like her? فَإِن كَرِهْتُمُوهُنَّ. If you dislike your wife, فَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَيَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. You may be disliking something in which Allah has placed a lot of khayr. What? A lot of khayr in your wife, even in the wife that you don't like. Imagine if it is a wife that you like. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Allah will put a lot of khayr. What could be better than this to say that our women are khayr for us, are a blessing for us? It's a source of khayr. It's in every case, it's a source of khayr. وَيَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Not just khayr, خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Allah will put a lot of khayr. Just عَاشِرُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Treat them in a fair manner, in a good way, and in the best way you can. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sitting with the Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in in his masjid. Sahaba surrounding Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu says that day, the way Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam treated me, I felt that he loves me more than anyone else in the world. And this is how Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was. Very soft, very kind. And he used to treat everyone in a very loving manner. So, every person used to feel in his gathering that he really likes me. So Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu says, one day, the way Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam kept on looking at me, smiling to me, the way he shook my hand and everything, I thought that there is no one that he loves more than he loves me. So now he wants, and he's sure about it, the way he was treated. So he wants everyone else to know that also. So in public, in the gathering, he asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, ayyun nasi ahabbu ilayk? Who do you love the most, Ya Rasulullah? To his surprise, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Aisha. I love Aisha the most. Can an imam dare today to sit in public and be asked, who do you love the most, and say, I love my wife? People will say, you know what? You're a slave of your woman. And if your parents will hear you, oh, I love my wife the most, that's it, you're done. And your in-laws, and then come the other relatives. Did you really say this? Do you mean it? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says it in public. Aisha. So that Amr ibn al-As said, I didn't get what I wanted from there. So I said, no, Ya Rasulullah, وَمِنَ الرِّجَالِ, you still have a hope. He says, no, I'm asking about men, Ya Rasulullah. Out of men, who do you like the most? He said, Abuha, her father. He doesn't say Abu Bakr. What did he say? Her father. And today you tell people, I really love my father-in-law. I love my father-in-law. And you see what happens to you. People will tell you, you know, you're out of our family. You don't know what you're doing. Oh, you got married in that family, now you become a slave of a family. People say this to their daughters. You know, the mothers advise their daughters. Yeah, be kind to your mother-in-law, but don't get too close to her. Don't let her use you. Don't let her manipulate you. Oh yeah, you took too much in her favor, you know, you better stop. Talk in my favor. I'm your mother, not her. We advise our children not to be kind to their in-laws. And here Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Abuha, I love her father the most. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's traveling with Sahaba ridwanullahi alaihim ajma'in. And he says to Sahaba, move forward, move forward. Leave me alone behind. So he's alone with his wife, Aisha radiallahu anha. He says to Aisha radiallahu anha, do you want to race? Okay, Ya Rasulullah, let's go. So we're going to race from here to there. And they set us a point where they're going to race up to. The Prophet of Allah is racing with his wife. Imagine the Imam, someday you see the Imam is running and his wife is next to him and she's running. Next day, explanation called to the Imam and fired. What? You were running with your wife out there. And not accept Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was running with his wife. Aisha radiallahu anha says, that day I beat him. After many years, again we were on a journey. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Aisha, you want to race again? I said, okay, let's go ahead. Sure, let's go. And this time when we raced, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam beat me. He said to me, Aisha, هذه بتلك. This one makes up for that now. Beat me last time, I beat you this time. We don't know. Maybe even the one that was last time, he intentionally let her beat him. So that make her feel good. You do it with the children too. Okay, let's play, and you let them win. But this is the behavior that he's, the type of life that he's living with his family. That, subhanAllah, there is always a good conversation going on. There is a good environment in the house. Aisha radiallahu anha says, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be sitting with me and we will be eating. And I'm menstruating. Even during that time, if I'm eating a meat, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will take it from me and he will eat it from the same place where I was eating from. And I will be drinking water. He will take the cup from me and he will drink from the same place where I was drinking from. To show his love. That is not, I hate you. I like you only during certain days and I don't like you other days. No. Even in this situation, I'm here. And he shows that concern, that love, that closeness. This is how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is making that environment in the house, creating that beautiful house where there is sukoon in the house, where there is peace of mind. You know, a lot of us, as men, we remember the ayah, we read it. And then we explain it according to our understanding. What does it mean? What does the word qawwam mean? A person who's in charge, isn't it? A person who's in charge. You go to a country or you know about a country where there is a chaos in the country, where there is no order in the country, where there is corruption everywhere in the country. Every department there is a corruption. Who would you blame? Who generally people will blame in that country? Is it the civilians that are doing all of that? Is it the robbers that are committing all of those crimes? No. It's the people that are in charge, which means if it is a kingdom or a prime minister or whoever is responsible, that person is supposed to take care of these things and not allow these things to take place in the country. Bring the army, bring the police department and take them into account. Just make sure whatever you do, whatever you have to do to make sure that you keep the peace in the country. This is the rule of the government. It's not of the civilians. It's not the general public. The government is responsible for it. And if the government is not able to do it, it's a failure to the government. And they are to be removed and bring someone else who can take care of these things. When Allah is telling us, Al-Rijalu Qawwamun, men are in charge and responsible, that simply means we are responsible to make sure that the peace of mind will remain in the house. Now, if you go home and you hear things that you don't like to hear, and then you stand back, you start firing back and creates a fight in the house, who won? Really, the wife won? Because you were supposed to keep the order in the house, you failed to do so. Now there is a big fight in the house. In the recent days, there was a research, and this is a true research that happened, that took place in one of the universities in a Muslim country, where the topic was how to treat problems. It wasn't mainly about family problems. It was general topic in the university on how to treat problems. One of the young men in the class, he thought that in our family, we always see arguments. Especially father and mother, they don't even talk to each other. They just live under the same roof, but they don't like to even see each other's face. Every day we, brothers and sisters, we keep on hearing arguments. So when he studied that topic, a thought came to his mind that let me apply it in my home and see how we solve our problems. So he talked to his sister, who was also, had grown up, young lady. So they both started having that discussion, and he started talking to his sister and educating her of what he learned in the class about solving problems. And finally, both the brother and sister came to a decision based on what they had studied, that our father comes with a lot of load of work at home and under a lot of pressure, under a lot of stress. And mother, with all the work that she has to do in our house, she has to do all of our work, and we are not helping her in any way. So she is also going under a lot of stress. So both the brother and the sister agreed that the brother will take care of 4 responsibilities of his father, and the sister will take care of 4 responsibilities of her mother. So she said, okay, I will take care of the cleaning of the kitchen, of the dishes, of cleaning, vacuuming the house. And she counts 4 responsibilities. And he counted 4 of his responsibilities that he's going to take it off his father. So he says, in 1 month time, we saw the arguments went much down in our home. We realized that this is really helping us, keeping the stress down from both of them and helping both of them to take care of the remaining things while we are helping them with these 4 responsibilities. After that, we thought we'll go to the second level. And both the brother and sister, they started studying this further and came to a conclusion: we will tell our parents, go out for a week. We will take care of all our siblings. We will take care of them. You just go and relax. Go somewhere where you don't have any of this pressure, and they won't listen. So now they made a plan. If parents will say, no, how about our siblings, and how about you people, you can't do all of this. So they prepared answers for all of those things. Finally, long story short, they were able to convince their parents to go out and live some days of stress, out of the stress of this house, and we will take care of all of these things during this 1 week. He says by the time they came back, we saw a big smile on their faces. And they walked in together. And they are sitting together. They are really happy. They are eating with us. They both are sitting and having humor, jokes with us. And then he says, my father, after the meal, he got up and he hugged me and he said, son, may God reward you and bless you. Because I thought I'm working hard to get you married and to give you a happy life. But I see that you really feel, you made me feel that now I got married. And you gave me a happy life rather than I'm giving you a happy life. This is a home where we all are taking care of each other. Really, this is what we need. That we all need to understand each other. We need to understand what other people are going through. Help each other. This is what the family is all about. Hold each other's hands. And don't push people further away. Don't push people further away. It's not going to help them. A person is slipping and you push the person, he's going to fall down for sure. This is the time when you need to hold this person's hand. This is the time when you need to tell this person, don't worry about it. We will be there. Allah will help you. We will pray for you. We are going to support you. Hold these people's hand at that time. This is when they really need our help. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us those peaceful homes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to have that peaceful life in our homes, where we can see that every person in the house is having sukoon in the house. You know, in even the house in the Arabic language, when Allah talks about a house, وَاللَّهُ جَعَلَ لَكُم مِّن بُيُوتِكُمْ سَكَنًا. Your houses are place of sukoon. And your your spouses are a source of sukoon. Subhanallah. What a beautiful families are those. Where your house is a place of sukoon. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you remember, in the early days in Makkah Mukarramah, when he was being troubled from all around, and he walks out, he's trying to give da'wah to the people. He cursed early days of Islam. He's being pushed. He's being cursed at. People are even throwing trash on him. There's situations where people came and even spit on his face. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. At the end, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam comes to Khadija radiallahu anha, very fine. Well, as soon as he comes home, he is relaxed. And he forgets all of those problems that he was going through, because the way she is supporting him and she is helping him in the house. This is what we need. We need this type of environment in our homes. Our children could be doing wrong. Come and hold their hands. Don't push them further. Oh, you did this, you can't be my son. Never say that. Oh, you can't be my son if you do this. You know where that come from? Many times the feeling is, I'm just like an angel. I'm like an angel. My son is behaving like a shaitan. And how could a shaitan live in the house of an angel? We don't realize that I'm not an angel. And in reality, he's not a shaitan. We both are somewhere in between. And we need to help. We need to stand for each other. We need to support them, especially when you see our children, they are slipping, they are going off the track. That's the time when you sit, you talk, you try to open up with them. Let them open up with you. Let them talk to you. Let them express their feelings to you. Let them have someone that they know that will listen to me, will understand me, will stand for me, will support me. He's not someone who will just curse at me, who will close his doors on me, someone who will look down at me. There has to be that environment within our family. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that beautiful environment of our home. May Allah create that love and rahmah in our families, that we all as a family live with love and rahmah. And we treat each other with love and rahmah, so that we receive the love and rahmah from Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqi Sayyidina wa Habibina wa Nabiyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ameen.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما